2019 25th Anniversary National Legends Cars Championship is sponsored by 24 Hour Solutions. No problems, only solutions. Welcome along to round 12 of the 2019 Legends Cars National Championship here at Pembrey. Race 3 of round 11 ended with a place swap between Si Harraway and Will Gibson. Let's hear from them.
Coming into day 2 here at Pembrey, I wanted to get you two together because at the end of yesterday's race, Si, you took the flag, but Will, you inherited the win after a chat with the clerk, and I just wanted to show the viewers that these things are talked out by the clerk and then you just get on with the racing. So Will, first, you got it turned around, you put the protest in, I guess, first?
I actually just walked up and spoke to the clerk who had seen the corner, because obviously they watched the lead battles and he'd already noted it. We just showed him some footage from our side of the story and he agreed. It was one of those things, we're here to race, so Si's got to put the moves on. Sometimes it's a little bit too hard, and the clerk did the right thing. I think just an advantage by contact and a swap in the places round's the best thing. Keeps points for Si. Doesn't mean that he gets championship points deducted, so it doesn't cost him in his hunt for the top 3. And yeah, I would say everyone's happy. I'm probably more happy than Si is, but
But the fact that you're here talking to each other is to me great, and you both agreed readily to have the chat.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, we're all here to enjoy ourselves. Me and Will have raced close all year, and we had a difference of opinion. The clerk made the decision, and the clerk's decision is final. We shook hands in the room, and that was it. And it was forgotten about when we walked out, as far as I'm concerned. And we'll be racing close quarters all day today, and best of luck to Will. I'm sure he wishes me best luck as well, so that's the way it is.
Have you done the grid draw yet?
Yes.
And where have you got?
I was 4, red 4.
pole, I think. So we're front row. I just, inside or outside, I can never remember which side's what.
Sean, I've just seen you hobbling around the pits. Are you carrying some sort of injury this weekend?
Yes, yeah, bad back I've had all week and weekend now, so but it's all right when I'm in the car.
Is that going to be harder today being dry? Because yesterday was obviously a little bit, perhaps slightly more sedate in the wet.
Yeah, we weren't quick yesterday. Don't know why really. So hopefully today, with it being dry, we'll be back up at the front.
When you're out racing, does the adrenaline kick in and take over from any discomfort that you've got?
Yeah, I think so. It was at Snetterton actually. We had a bit of a problem at Snetterton, so it was fine then in the end. So hopefully today we'll be good.
Mike, change of plan for today. We're expecting to see Dave in the car, but you're going to have another crack.
Yes, we worked really hard yesterday, and I must admit I was a bit disappointed with what happened. I don't exactly know what happened. We worked hard, changed the axle, got the car ready, then discovered the clutch had gone on the engine. So we thought what we'd do is change the engine because we were going to do this for Brands Hatch and basically have the car set for Brands. Dave and my wife and his wife kind of looked at me and said, maybe you ought to get in the car today and cheer yourself up. So that's the plan, and Dave's going to do Saturday and Sunday at Brands Hatch. Dave being the racer, we're going to have a good go at trying to beat Ricky Leggett, who's the guy who's winning the Team Car Championship at the minute.
But then is the danger he's going to stick Thomas in the car?
Yes, well, Thomas is the Achilles heel here, but Thomas is very fast, but sometimes he's a bit aggressive, so there's always a reliability thing. But really, I know Dave with his racing character, he would love to race against Thomas, and he'd love to have a fight on the track. Whether we can actually do that, that's the fun of motor racing.
Much better conditions today here at Pembrey, even a little bit of sunshine, blue sky at the minute, and we're on board with Nick Bridgman on row 3, Miles Rudman on the front row of the grid, row 2 Mike Borner and Phil Turner, and it's Will Gibson, the pole position man in the Blue Sky CAD 57 car, who gets a good start. So Gibson makes a great start. Round the outside goes Mike Borner. down into hatches for the first time. Borna goes deeper than he would have liked to have done, and that's Nathan Anthony in yellow up into third. The van in third, in car with Si Haraway, looking at Phil Turner on the inside line. Is Haraway going to get past? No, he isn't. I think that's John Mickle around the outside, but it's Rudman leading from Will Gibson. Then Nathan Anthony is next up. Good start. Championship leader Miles Rudman out front. Rudman looking to break the domination of John Mickle over recent seasons, and he leads the championship. Will Gibson dicing for fourth place in the standings at the moment with Marcus Pett. There is Marcus, sandwiched between the blue 68 of Nick Bridgman and the chrome livery of multi-champion John Mickle, but it's Rudman leading. I'll tell you what, I've seen no let-up from Miles Rudman in the Legends Cars Championship this year, and even as we approach the final stages, this is the anti-penultimate round of the season. We've got a double header again at Brands Hatch in November. Rudman just seems to be going for win after win. He knows it's about points, he knows it's about finishing, but he'll always want to win the race. Rudman leading, Gibson second, Anthony in third, looking back from Bridgman. Here comes John Mickle, looks down the inside line. Si Haraway goes blasting around the outside line here. Haraway side by side with Marcus Pett. Pett's had 4 wins in the championship this year. On board again with Nick Bridgman. Through on the inside line goes Sean Smith, one of the drivers we heard from before the start of racing today. Nick we spoke to in our previous programme, set the very quick time in the Saturday morning qualifying sessions. Haraway looks down the inside line of Mike Borna. Lead trio being chased at the moment by James Hall Morton in the magenta and silver car, and then Paul Simmons in the yellow 51. Mike Borna passed by John Mickle through on the inside line. Sean Smith throws his car through on the inside line as well. Then it's Jack Parker and Nick Bridgman. Parker had 3 fastest laps in the races yesterday. Was the fastest lap session in all 3 races for round 11, and has got himself now. His target was to get back into the top 10 of the championship, which he's done, and he's now up into 8th position in the championship. So a great recovery from him after his injury earlier on in the season. Will Gibson challenging for the lead. There is John Mickle, Marcus Pett, Sean Smith down the inside line in the black and red 21. Smith's going to go through. Marcus Pett will lose a position here. Jack Parker closing up as well. Parker very tight into the hairpin in blue and yellow, down the inside line, through into Spitfires. He's up ahead of Marcus Pett. Good move by Jack Parker. And as ever, super racing from the 1250cc Yamaha engine Legends cars. There's a little bit of contact there, very close certainly, between Smith and Parker. Parker on the inside run, the Midlander goes through past the man from Marlow and Buckinghamshire. Then Marcus Pett not losing touch with them, a little bit of a gap back to Mike Borna. Then following Mike, it's Nick Bridgman, Nick 12th in the championship. Probably up to 11th now, I think, after yesterday's score. Should have overtaken Rob King in the championship. Rob not with us this weekend, and I know Nick's aim. And problems for James Hall Morton slowing up there in the 32. James Hall Morton dropping back. Race winner at Brands Hatch. We're expecting big things from James this year after that win at Brands, and he just has not had the luck. He's still top 10 in the championship, but dropping away. It's still Rudman, Gibson, Anthony in third place. Good to see the van up at the sharp end of things. Nathan Anthony's had so much bad luck. Now as Gibson challenges for the lead, tight run there. On board with Will Gibson, and it's championship leader Miles Rudman out front. Nathan Anthony busy chasing in third position at the moment. And James Newbury, newcomer, met him in the last programme. The man from Burgess Hill in Sussex has a little spin. He'll be getting the Mater liveried number 2 car back on track, and a big grin on his face after day one. Really enjoyed it. Here's Si Haraway trying to come through the field, passes Paul Simmons, but tags the front bumper of Simmons' car, and his back bumper as a result is hanging off. So he's got damage. He'll have to come into pit lane with that. The officials will see it. They'll ask him to come in, because the last thing they want is the bumper flying off maybe into the crowd or into another car. 43 car giving chase there. Stuart McAndrew, another newcomer, engaged in battle trying to close down on 247 Phil Turner. Jack Parker going through. Haraway, I think, knows that he's got a problem. Parker through on the inside line of the 51 car of Paul Simmons. Well, Si Haraway doesn't pit at the moment, maybe doesn't realise he's got a problem. That was a Fairly straightforward pass by those two. Si exploring the outside line here, tucks back on the inside. See if he can get on the inside line of Paul Simmons. Makes the pass again, but you can see that bumper hanging off on the 83 car. And he'll probably get the black and orange flag at some point. Now Simmons maybe just tagged the back end there perhaps, and has a gyration, gets back on track. Very quick recovery from Paul Simmons. Superb job from him to get going, but he'll be disappointed to lose pace as we go back with Stuart McAndrew in the 43, not that far away at the minute from Phil Turner. And meanwhile they're closing down now on James Newbury in the number 2 car, as coming into pit lane is Si Haraway. So Si knows he's got a problem, he's come in and his crew will have a look. Whether they've got a spare bumper is doubtful though. There's not one there. He's waving, he's talking to them. He'll want them to either refit that if they can. It's probably broken, it's going to be difficult to refit. Si Haraway's very much out of the points here, and that's going to be a little bit of a dent in his hopes for getting 3rd in the championship. Where's he off? That's the wrong way along pit lane. He's going back to the paddock, Si Haraway. So possibly to get spares and maybe rejoin to see if he can become a classified finisher as John Mickle passes Sean Smith. Sean 2nd in the championship, as we heard in the interview, struggling a little bit with physical condition at the moment, but delivering well considering that, all things considered. Sean Smith racing well, but it's Rudman still out front. Will Gibson 2nd, Rudman breaking clear of Nathan Anthony and Will Gibson in 2nd position. A little look back down the order. Nick Bridgman up ahead of Mike Borner. There is John Mickle, still in with a shout for the championship, talking to John, verbally saying he's waving a little white flag at the moment, but John Mickle is still in with a shout of a decent championship position and could still take the honours when we get to Brands Hatch. Stranger things have happened in Legends Cars racing. It will only take a couple of races to turn things around, and we've got 3 races today, another 6 races at Brands Hatch. And the key thing about John Mickle is that John knows how to win championships, and that is, on the face of it, a fairly lame phrase, but when you talk about drivers like John Mickle, back in the day, Tick Stewart, John Higgins, all the drivers that won, Pete Morton, they all know how to win championships, and you've got to keep at it, and that's exactly what Mickle will do right the way to the end of this meeting. Miles Rudman then out front. You won't be surprised to learn that Jack Parker's got the fastest lap in this race again. Been a very quick driver, Jack Parker. So it's going to be 4 fastest laps on the bounce here at Pembrey. Without a doubt, the Pembrey top gun. There is Stuart McAndrew, still chasing Phil Turner. That's for 13th place between those two. Good battle on though between the lead trio. Rudman out front, Gibson, Will Gibson in 2nd, Nathan Anthony in 3rd. Jack Parker trying to close in. He's the car just coming into shot in blue and yellow, but it's Rudman out front who looks like he's going to take another win, extend the championship lead. He'll pick up another 200 points, 185 for 2nd place here in the offing for Will Gibson. Still chasing the race leader and trying to put him under a wee bit of pressure. Is he going to be able to go through? Too far back at the moment, but still hanging in there. Nice tight line there from Gibson. Nathan Anthony back in 3rd. So heading down Speedway Straight and towards Honda Corner, which is the last corner on the lap. A bit further back, Paul Simmons and Mike Schlupp, they're dicing for 9th and 10th place, so Mike in the top 10. Behind them we've got Mike Borner. There is Mike coming into shot. Bill Reed in the 67 car will be the next one that we may or may not see, but Paul Simmons recovering from that tag earlier on. We're not going to see Bill Reed, but Bill is in 12th place. Then Stuart McAndrew, Phil Turner, James Newbury, non-finishers in this race. Si Haraway's back on track as we go on the last lap. James Hall Morton retired. Si Haraway is back on, but he's a couple of laps down after having a new back bumper fitted. So Will Gibson actually closing in on Miles Rudman now. So through the left-hander, back into the right-hander now and onto the older part of the circuit, the existing part of the circuit. And Gibson, look, really trying hard. Bit of opposite lock there. Doesn't lose momentum, and Gibson challenging for the lead. Looks down the inside line. There's a gap on the inside of Rudman, and Gibson goes through. Rudman's got a wider entry though, and has got a faster exit. Or has he? Rudman's still in P2. Great move by Gibson, but here comes Rudman again. Out of the slipstream. Down the inside line. And goes through. Rudman retakes the lead. Great racing, classic racing from the Legends cars. Gibson grabs the lead. Rudman had a very fast entry into the corner where he lost the lead, but coming down to the flag, it's going to be side by side. Gibson's having a go, but it's Rudman that wins it. Gibson second. Nathan Anthony third in the van. Great result for him. Jack Parker fourth, still has the fastest lap. Then Marcus Pett. John Mickle next up. Mike Schlurp challenging Paul Simmons. Great race from Mike and Paul here. Both dicing hard. This is for 9th and 10th place. Mike's going to have a go. Goes for the run round the outside line. Paul Simmons just gets the position there. 9th place for Paul. Mike Schlurp in 10th. But Miles Rudman, the championship leader, maximum points again. He is absolutely delighted in the Pro 24 Racing number 7 car. Takes the win. Gibson second, Anthony third, Parker fourth from Marcus Pett. Then John Mickle, Sean Smith seventh from Nick Bridgman, Paul Simmons and Mike Schlupp completing the top 10. Jack Parker did still get fastest lap, finishing in fourth. 4 out of 4 here at Pembrey for him. Mike Borner, Bill Reid and Stuart McAndrew next from Phil Turner and James Newbury in 15th place. 2 more races to go. What a great way to open round 12 of the championship here in South Wales as they come into Victory Lane, led by race winner Miles Rudman.
Miles, congratulations. That's added points for the championship. Obviously Sean was a little way back, signed on finish, so cementing things for you.
Yeah, it's just what we're looking for really. I mean, I didn't expect to get the win, but I was just pushing and I thought I'd break away with Will, and yeah, just a really good race, and like you say, it's good points for us, and that's what we're looking for.
Well, what a fantastic race once again.
Yeah, that was a cracker. I made a little mistake that gave Miles a little bit of breathing space and just slowly chipped back. Got caught up with him on the last lap, made a lunge, didn't quite work. Yeah, he did an awesome cutback move on me and just dragged past me to the penultimate corner, but yeah, that's cracking Legends battle, nice, clean, fair racing.
Nathan, good to see you and the van back on the podium. Good race.
Yeah, that was a good race. I did get up to second at one point. Will made a slight mistake going into the complex. And I took the opportunity, but unfortunately he did dive inside just on the last corner on the back straight there. So it was a good race. To be fair, I was just holding back. I thought the other two might cause a bit of a carnage between themselves, so I thought I might just play the waiting game. But Miles and Gibson, they drove well.
James, sorry to see you disappear from that race. What was the problem?
Well, there's a big hole inside the engine which doesn't really help. But to be fair, we thought with the luck that we've had recently, and then we've got 3 strong finishes yesterday in the wet, and it's lovely weather today for once at Pembrey. The car felt good, put in some good lap times, and then all of a sudden it just had no power, and then yeah, we just looked now and there's a big hole on the side, so that's us done for today.
That's a big shame because it looked like you had pace in that race as well. You were up with the front runners.
Yeah, it felt good. I felt that I could have sat there in 4th and just hopefully the front 3 get under each other's feet, but oh well, it is what it is, and we'll go with what we got.
Marcus, good result there, 5th position, not a bad start to the day.
No, we'll take that. Yeah, we started near the back on the 6th row in that one and had a good start and picked off the places as the race went through, and yeah, got into a bit of no man's land, and 5th was, yeah, a solid result, and we couldn't close up any further, so we'll take that.
Different conditions to yesterday. You had a DNF I saw yesterday, what was that?
Yeah, that was the prop shaft snapped, so we lost our drive, which was unfortunate because I was running a strong 4th or 5th at the time, but that's part of Legends racing, and yeah, we'll bounce back today hopefully.
Second race with Mike Schlurp and John Mickle on the front row of the grid. Then it's Marcus Pett and Sean Smith, followed by Paul Simmons and Jack Parker. Jack was 4th in race 1. Row 3 in this one. Will Gibson's got a problem. Will Gibson is into pit lane. That is a bitter disappointment for him and us all watching this race. And that is going to affect the battle for 4th and 5th in the championship for sure. Hard lines for Will. Okay, on board with Miles Rudman. He's going to be looking for another win, but it's John Mickle and Mike Schlupp, the two teammates who head down into Hatchets. Watch for this. Look how many cars you can get side by side here at turn 1. Si Haraway looking around the outside line. Looking back from Nick Bridgman, there's Jack Parker past the van. Great to see Nathan Anthony on the podium in race number 1. Wonder if we'll be able to repeat it here, but it's John Mickle making an early break here. Sean Smith second, Mike Schlupp third, then Marcus Pett, Si Haraway. Next up, Paul Simmons, Nick Bridgman in car with Haraway. There is Mike Schlupp in the black number 3. Marcus Pett just in front of him. So Marcus Pett going through. Looking back from Nick Bridgman, who has a spin. Was there contact on the back end of Bridgman? Have to rewatch that little move as they come back in. But Bridgo finds himself a little bit further back. Bill Reid and Phil Turner having a dice there. Bill trying to close in on Phil. Phil, of course, starting further back in this one because the drawn grid from race 1 reversed to give us the starting positions for this. As Miles Rudman looks down the inside line of Mike Schlupp. Sean Smith up ahead of Marcus Pett. Now up front, John Mickle. This time last year, you would have said Mickle was going to be a dead cert for a race win, but he just hasn't had the rub of the green this year, and you need that for every championship. We know that John's preparation is meticulous, but he's coming under pressure, and Si Haraway dives around the outside line there of Sean Smith. They go deep into the hairpin, and Smith drifts out wide, catches Haraway, and that is race over, surely, for Si Haraway, a non-classified in race 1, and Bill Reid and Phil Turner together. Are coming together between those two. Now, before that, I was about to say Si Haraway with a non-classified finish in race number 1 because of the time he took off circuit to get that bumper back on. He came back on track, such was the fighting spirit to try and get points, but didn't complete the required number of laps to be a classified finisher, and that surely has finished his race in this one as well. He might be waving goodbye to third in the championship. Phil and Bill get going again and will resume their race. There's Marcus Pett now challenging John Mickle for the race lead. Marcus looking for win number 5 this year. John Mickle looking for race win number 3, and the multi-champion under pressure. Marcus Pett looks down the inside line. Stuart McAndrew here dicing with James Newbury. He's got the inside run here. He's going to make a pass. Good racing. That is for 12th place. Good stuff from Stuart McAndrew. Second day's racing in Legends for him in the John T. Norman Mick Mercer 43 car. So Miles Rudman making progress up with Paul Simmons at the moment, and goes for a dive down the inside line. Again, that was spectacular racing from the championship leader. You would think maybe with a good championship lead, we'll come back to that scenario because we've got a battle for the lead, and Marcus Pett goes through, finds the inside line of John Mickle. The quick steel car's going to have a look back though, hasn't quite got the grunt to do it out of the corner, and Marcus Pett takes the lead. John Mickle now does have a look, goes on the inside line, and John Mickle reclaims the lead. Classic stuff from the multi-champion John Mickle, who really has ripped up the record books over the years in terms of the number of wins, career points, you name it. He's pretty much got all the records, and he's back in front of this one again. And having seen John a little bit despondent, great to see him back on form in this race as Si Haraway recovers and passes Nathan Anthony, who was on the podium in race number 1. So I really discounted Si Haraway far too early, and he's on the back of this group. Marcus Pett leading again, John Mickle second, then Sean Smith third from Miles Rudman. So a good battling prospect with ease, and I guess the more they battle, they might slow each other up, maybe allow Miles Rudman up into another podium as well. He's got Jack Parker right behind him again now as Si Haraway tries to muscle his way past Paul Simmons, gets through. Simmons certainly been in the wars there, Paul Simmons, at that point of the circuit. Nathan Anthony goes through as well. Nathan in the first for Vans 29, that is such an iconic car. I'm surprised that more drivers don't have the sedan shape. I think Nathan should have the only van, to be absolutely fair, because he's the originator of that, but it would be nice to see more sedan shapes as opposed to the coupes, which of course look great, but it just adds a little bit more variety into the championship. So out front, Marcus Pett, we've got 5 cars. This is what people come to see for Legends Cars racing, and Miles Rudman, championship leader, where's he going to go? He's got to go to the outside line of Sean Smith, down the main straight, challenging hard. He's battling for third place. Jack Parker right behind him. Parker trying to move up from 5th position. At the moment, hasn't got the fastest lap, which he's done for the last 4 races. I think that might be a record for fastest laps on the bounce. Something I'll have to check in the records, maybe before we get to Brands Hatch. But certainly Legends Cars Racing always very competitive as he looks up the inside line and passes Miles Rudman and gets 4th position. Great stuff by Jack Parker. Jack Parker then up into 4th position. Miles Rudman down to 5th. Marcus Pett still the race leader. Rudman, though, will want the position back. Now, is he going to do a bit of bump drafting first of all? Connects with the back of the number 13 car if they work together. No, Parker's broken free. Finds the inside line. He's about to pass John Mickle. Is Rudman going to follow through? Mickle read that well. He couldn't do anything about the pass from the 13 car, but nips back on the line. It doesn't block, but gets the line that Miles Rudman would have wanted. Now comes offline, looks at the outside run as they come down to the next corner. Again, hasn't quite got the momentum, so slots back in. Inside line into Hatchett's. Miles Rudman's going to have a look now to try and go through. John across the front. Great racing between these two. Are we watching this year's champion following the outgoing multi-champion? It's certainly a great battle between the two. Oh, bang! Back on the back end of John Mickle's car. Look at John crossing up as a result of that. But masterly car control from the Sussex-based racer, and he stays in position. Cy Haraway's caught up as well now. Haraway the 83, Paul Simmons and Nathan Anthony right behind as well. Nobody really gaining a huge advantage here. Rudman looks on the inside line of John Mickle. There's a gap there. He's trying to keep space between the two. May have made contact earlier on, but I don't think there's any way Miles would want to budge John out of the way on the corner. And look at John keeping a wide brief there as well. This is great, clean, fair racing by them. Cy Haraway's going to try and nick through on the 83 car as well. John Mickle grabs the line. Nathan Anthony right in behind. Marcus Pett still the race leader though. Sean Smith second. Jack Parker now is third, of course, and challenging for second. Parker down the outside line, side by side, hard on the brakes. Parker could go for the cutback here. Read that well. Sean Smith goes wide. Parker knew what he was going to do on the exit there and goes through. Sean Smith down to third. And Parker really took the optimum line. It's Marcus Pett out front now. Jack Parker second. John Mickle under pressure from Cy Haraway. Miles Rudman still in the mix as well. Sean Smith in 3rd position. Cy Haraway trying to close down on and catch the quick steel car of John Mickle. John running a little bit wide there, half a gap, but Cy hasn't quite got the momentum to nip through on the inside. Might do on the next corner if he closes up. All of the cars you can see taking a fairly wide line through there. So it's Marcus Pett. We've got James Newbury up ahead of them at the moment as Miles Rudman is challenged by John Mickle. Mickle having a look on the inside line. Cy Haraway in behind. So those 5 cars relatively settled at the moment. Marcus Pett through and past James Newbury along the straight. James keeping to the outside line. Great battle here. Mickle to the outside line and Miles Rudman. I don't think he's going to do it. Got a little bit of a lock-up smoke there by somebody. It's James Newbury and Sean Smith is caught up in that as well. Here's a replay. Okay, wasn't contact between. There was a little bit of contact to Sean's back end. I think both under braking. Back ends came around. Sean maybe clipped James' car and took him around. So Sean Smith at the moment now back in 7th or 8th position at the moment. Marcus Pett the leader from Jack Parker. This has all changed the complexion of this race. The two yellow fellas having a good race there. Paul Simmons busy chasing Nathan Anthony. Nathan scoring real well in this one. He was at the front in race number 1 on the podium. He's going to be up with the front group again in this one as Marcus Pett continues to lead. Battling between Phil Turner and Bill Reid. Those two have been equal on pace. They've had some superb races, those two. And that's for 12th place at the moment as Miles Rudman continues to chase Jack Parker, but Marcus Pett is clear. Pett the leader. Jack Parker in 2nd place as they come into Hatchet. So has Pett made a mistake? He's spun. Now is there oil there? Because obviously Sean Smith had a similar issue, knocking into James Newbury on the previous lap, but Pett is out. It hasn't affected the others and Jack Parker has got the lead. The irony of this, Jack Parker doesn't have fastest lap. That's with Miles Rudman, who set it on the last lap. He's in P2, but this race might not be over yet. Are we going to see a win but not a fastest lap for Parker? Or is Miles Rudman going to make it a double here? Rudman certainly putting the 13 car under a lot of pressure. Cy Haraway incredibly has come through for third after, well, I'd written his race off earlier on, but now Miles Rudman challenging for the lead all over the back of Jack Parker at the moment. Bang, onto the back, bit of bump drafting. They'll go past the 43 car, so they make it safely past Stuart McAndrew, stayed, you can see, right to the side of the track to allow them through. Jack Parker still in the lead, Rudman challenging hard, Parker defensive as they go through Honda. It's going to be the run to the flag, on board with Miles Rudman. Squirrely rear end from the 13, it's the run to the flag. Who's going to get it? It is Jack Parker. Parker takes the win, Miles Rudman second, Cy Haraway in third. John Mickle is in fourth, scoring well again. Fifth position goes to the recovering Marcus Pett, and then Paul Simmons, Nathan Anthony and Sean Smith. Well, that race, we saw so many different leaders in that one, and the fortune changed throughout the 10 laps that we had. A cracking Legends race, and the end result, Parker, Rudman, Haraway, Mickle and Pett. Simmons and Anthony 6th and 7th, Sean Smith 8th from Nick Bridgman and Mike Borner in 10th place. Then Mike Schlupp 11th ahead of Bill Reid. Stuart McAndrew was in 13th from James Newbury, and Phil Turner in 15th. Sadly, Will Gibson, of course, not even getting a racing lap underway in that one. Fastest lap in that race going to Miles Rudman, so well done to him. Here comes Jack Parker into pit lane. He'll be delighted with that win, and Miles Rudman is going to be equally made up to only drop 15 championship points to Jack Parker in that one, but beating his main rivals in doing so.
Jack Parker, what a drive. You didn't get fastest lap that time, but you got the win. Which would you prefer? I'm guessing the win.
I'd take the win any day. Yeah, what an exciting race. I got to admit, struggled towards the end. I believe our exhaust came off and it's lost a bit of back pressure. But yeah, I didn't expect the win. But yeah, it was a good race. Enjoyed it. Hopefully next one I can try to do the same again.
Cy Haraway, another tough race. After the disappointment of the earlier race this morning, must be pleased with the podium.
Yeah, it was really disappointing after yesterday. We had a bumper tab come loose through a little bit of contact just racing, but yeah, it was really enjoyable. Unfortunately, I had to take to the grass coming out the corner as Sean was going out drifting wide. There was nowhere for me to go, so which put me back a little bit, but we were certainly fast enough, and it was nice to come up through. Obviously, push Miles through as well, so we had both two cars in the top three, so good stuff.
Miles, this is becoming a habit this week. It must be a very pleasing habit for you. Another podium, very nearly a win, close Legends racing as ever.
Yeah, it was. I'm enjoying it, and yeah, it just we want to get those points, and thankfully we're managing to do that so far. If we can get another good podium in the last race, we'll be happy. But like you say, it was really close towards the end, and coming down the back straight, there was a back marker. I could have put it up the inside of Jack, but I think it was just a bit too tight between us, and yeah, I backed out of that. But I tried to get the run on the last corner, but as you say, it was a really close race.
Well, disappointing to see out of the race. What's happened, and how are the repairs coming on?
We snapped a half shaft on the rolling up lap. I don't quite know how, but it's damaged the spool as well, so we're going to have to put a new diff and a new half shaft in and hope that fixes it. Well, it should.
How many times a season do you get this sort of urgency for repairs?
Too many. Yeah, I mean, we had this all out and inspected it before this weekend, and it was all fine, so it's quite annoying, but it is what it is.
Mike, report on the day so far?
Not brilliant. Race one was okay. I ended up, I think, 10th off a 14th start, but had a little off. But the second race, some terrible problem with the brakes has developed, and under heavy braking, the steering column was shaking so much I couldn't hang on to it. Hence my little off at on the new section there. So that was a pretty unpleasant race, but I'm hoping now that when we come to the final, everything will be fixed, especially after yesterday where I had terrible problems, all sorts of things going wrong. I did an engine and couldn't get it in time and so on. So yeah, I've got one more race to try and put it all together in one piece. So that's
see how we go.
Bill, interesting to watch your race with Phil there in that one. He's back, but coming together?
Yeah, the hairpin. I think we've got magnets. Mine at the front, back, and his at the front.
It's good to have your wingman back and having a race, because you've had some good dicing over the weekend so far.
Yeah, it's all good fun. So it's better to have somebody to race with. But still getting quicker, so quicker than was last year by over a second. So we're going in the right direction.
Miles Rudman and Jack Parker, the top 2 scorers on the day so far. Therefore, they start at the back in this one. The top point scorers starting race 3 at the back. Those that haven't scored so well starting at the front. We've got some big point scoring drivers in the championship starting at the front. Cy Haraway and, of course, Will Gibson as well. Stuart McAndrew, being a newcomer, starts off the back of the grid, and he's got Miles Rudman, the top scorer, immediately in front of him. Again, it stayed dry today, which has been great, and that should hopefully carry through onto the remainder of the race. Cy Haraway leads them away. Then it's Mike Schlupp in second position. Mike Borner third. A little bit of bump drafting there on Cy from Mike Borner. Nick Bridgman explores the outside line. Mike Borner looks up the inside line here. Very tight he was at the hairpin. Sean Smith gets a better run round the outside line. Smith has been outscored in this meeting by champion. He's second in the championship coming here to Pembrey. And Miles Rudman, the championship leader, has outscored Smith by 135 points so far today. So Miles Rudman underlining his championship credentials very much this weekend. Cy Haraway, who's third in the championship coming into today, has dropped 210 points so far on John Mickle, but he's in the lead of this one. No, neither of those drivers will thank me for those stats, but it does help paint the picture of the championship. There's Jack Parker looking for the day's overall victory. Goes down the inside line of Mike Borner in the 5 car, but it's Haraway leading. Smith second. Schlupp in third. Looking back from Nick Bridgman. There is the championship leader, Miles Rudman. Mike Schlupp thinks about having a look at the 21 car of Sean Smith. Will Gibson followed by John Mickle. John scored well today. John Mickle, 4th in the points at the moment. I think on 300 scored from the first 2 races of the weekend, but it's Haraway out front. Sean Smith in P2. Here comes Miles Rudman about to look round the outside line in blue of Nick Bridgman, which he does. Bridgo just bouncing over the curb. Be interesting for me. Next year I'll get clarity on what his track limits there. But it's Haraway out front from Smith still. Will Gibson in third place with John Mickle. Then Paul Simmons, Mike Schlupp, Jack Parker, Nathan Anthony, Miles Rudman already making work through the field. About to make another pass here. Haraway the leader, but that's a problem for Sean Smith. The red and black 21 is pulling over to the inside. Smith's got a problem. He's passed there by Paul Simmons. Miles Rudman bump drafting again with his wingman from this meeting, you have to say, Jack Parker. So that's got ramifications on the championship. It means that things are going to be more comfortable for Miles Rudman as he leaves Pembrey, assuming Miles gets to the finish, of course. Top point scorer on the day. So John Mickle challenging now for second place. Will Gibson second, Mickle third. Jack Parker and Miles Rudman already have come through the field. The 2 yellow fellas together as well. Jack Parker and Miles Rudman. What a race this would have been for the championship had Jack Parker not missed the American Speed Fest. I really hope that Jack comes back next year, because without a doubt the speed that he has shown in the second half of the season has marked him out as a championship contender for sure for next. We knew he was coming into this year, but we definitely want him back. Rudman though got the upper hand at the minute, takes the outside line, a little bit of opposite lock, corrects it up nicely, not too much so that he lost ground there. Will Gibson chasing. There is Sean Smith with the Matt Roach Racing team in pit lane. Well, problems for him. That is real disappointment, but it means that he and Cy Haraway, second and third in the championship, have both had non-finishes. You get 5 points for starting, but they're just consolation points really as we ride on board with Will Gibson chasing Jack Parker and Miles Rudman. Rudman and Parker without a doubt have been the fastest men here this weekend. Cy Haraway taking 3 wins on track yesterday as Rudman goes through, but in wet conditions. But in the faster conditions, it's been the It's been Parker and Rudman today, and they're working their way through the field. You can see John Mickle still hanging in there. That's the mark of a multi-champion. He's not going to let go, John Mickle. He had a dismal day yesterday, but he's come back out fighting today. Will Gibson right with him as well. Let's see whether Will can make a move on the inside line. He does, dives through. Look how close they get, but they don't make contact. Super racing. Mickle, though, reads that situation superbly, knew where he had the speed on the exit of the corner, and repasses the 57 car, and he's now getting stuck into Jack Parker as well. Parker losing a little bit of ground now on Miles Rudman. Rudman up into P2. Sean Smith out of the race. Disappointment for him. Let's hope his back problems clear up. Wish him well. Look forward to seeing him at Brands. And look at this racing though. The multi-champion up ahead of Jack Parker. Then it's Will Gibson. Paul Simmons in the mix as well. And Cy Haraway at the moment is clear, looking to get a third win of the weekend. Remember, the final win was reversed. The race 3 result was reversed in favour of Will Gibson yesterday, but he took all 3 on track. Some great squabbling going on here for the podium, but Miles Rudman's away from this group. Rudman is closing in on Haraway. You can see that, the 2 black cars just out of shot. Here they are. Rudman on a complete and utter mission here. He wants another win. Jack Parker trying to get past John Mickle at the moment. Now I'm trying to do the championship or the day points, because the winner of the round is the person who scores the most points over all 3 races together. Make no apology for saying that round after round, because a lot of people think that the winner of the final race gets the trophy, but it isn't. Rudman's going to take the top step of the podium at the moment. Jack Parker P2. Third place is going to be between Marcus Pett and John Mickle. Marcus had a brace of 5th positions. He's a little bit away from this group, I think, at the moment, as John Mickle has another look at Jack Parker. Side by side, there you go. Will Gibson in the mix as well. Paul Simmons not that far behind either. And Marcus Pett's in that chasing group. He's got Nick Bridgman right with him as well as Marcus Pett. And Miles Rudman challenges for the lead and dives to the inside line down the straight, and he's got it complete, but Haraway comes back at him. Haraway on the inside line. Superb stuff for the lead. Rudman got the lead, but now Haraway gets it back. Wonderful racing, and again, this could be for the championship when we get to Brands. So many points available in Legends Cars Racing. Haraway gets the lead of the race back, but Rudman's all over him now. Let's watch Miles, wide line there, into that left-hander. We've got 2 braces of battles here. The word brace is used really well. Former champion Dean Brace and his dad Nick racing back in the day. And very spectacular fast races they were as well. Be good to see them in the paddock at some stage soon. But we've got 2 pairs of racers battling it out. 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th. A quartet for 5th place, headed by Paul Simmons at the moment. But Cy Haraway up ahead of Miles Rudman in the final race of the weekend here at Pembrey. Haraway looking to go out as he began the weekend. They're closing on James Newbury, who completes his first weekend as a racing driver. Nick Bridgman not that far behind Marcus Pett. This is the quartet racing for 5th place. Nathan Anthony's had a much better weekend. Better not put the curse of the commentator on him, as Marcus Pett looks on the outside lines. Great move by Marcus Pett, and they virtually go 3 wide through Hatchets. No other formula will do that, but Legends cars can, because unlike a lot of other formula, they don't get bigger and faster. They've kept the formula exactly the same. This is the 25th anniversary year, and things have changed. Little things have changed here and there, but it's to keep the formula stable, and because of the size of the cars and how evenly matched they are, they always produce great racing right the way down the quarter of a century that we've had with them. Nick Bridgman continues to chase Marcus Pett. Pett needs to try and close down on John Mickle if he's got a shout of the 3rd place trophy for this round. At the moment, it looks like it's advantage Mickle for 3rd. Parker and Rudman, I think, are going to take 2nd and round win respectively. That's the way it stands at the moment. But look at this 4-way battle, and we've still got the 2 pairs battling for 1st and 2nd, 3rd and 4th. Marcus Pett has a look. He's got Nick Bridgman behind him. He's going to go to the outside run again. He's tried this before. Is it going to work? Side by side with Nathan Anthony. Nathan will have seen him. How wide will Marcus go? Does he maintain the level? No, he doesn't. This is great racing from Nathan Anthony and 2 from Nick Bridgman, who senses an opportunity to maybe try and get past again. Can't quite do it, so Marcus Pett holds on to 7th place. James Newbury keeping to the outside line. Super racing from the newcomer. This is the battle for the lead, though. Now, we've seen Rudman in front once, and Haraway reclaimed the lead very quickly on that occasion. But now, again, Miles Rudman, he'll see in his mirrors that 3rd and 4th might be closing in, so time for a bit of bump drafting. Let's see if we can just break away a little bit, and then we'll sort it out amongst ourselves. Just looks like one car coming down towards the camera when we're head on, because they are working together. Nick Bridgman's still chasing as well. It is a job to know where to look, isn't it? 4-car squabble going on for 5th. 2-car battle for the lead, 2-car battle for 3rd place, the final podium position, which is John Mickle being chased by Jack Parker. But we're on to the last lap now, and Miles Rudman wants the lead back. He goes to the outside line. Cy Haraway keeping it relatively tight on the inside, not overly defensive from Haraway. He knows he's got speed, but they head through Spitfires now, down towards DeBenny, the left-hander. Haraway still there, Rudman piling the pressure on in the number 7 car, the championship leader chasing the man 3rd in the standings at the moment, and Rudman would like nothing better than to put another 15 points on him. And look at the line that Rudman's taking here, very quick line into the left-hander, closes right up on Cy Haraway. Is he going to be able to get a run on the inside here? No, he can't. John Mickle is closing in as well. This has been a good day for John Mickle, coming right back to form. He's worked hard, the team worked hard to get that car back in the mix, and it's a 4-way battle effectively for the lead, and Rudman challenging hard now. Cy Haraway is half a gap there. Rudman looks to the inside line, and now we've got John Mickle and Jack Parker in the mix as well. Rudman going to the outside line, side by side for the lead, and Rudman's got the lead on the outside line as they come into Honda. John Mickle in 3rd, Jack Parker's going to look up the inside. Here they come, down towards the checkered flag. It's going to be a photo finish. Jack Parker's having a go, but it was Rudman from Parker. Haraway down to 3rd, John Mickle in 4th. 5th position is Marcus Pett. Pett has a trio of 5th positions at this meeting. He'll be 4th on the day, which is won by Miles Rudman from Jack Parker. 1st and 2nd in the race, our 1st and 2nd on the day, with Marcus Pett, our 3rd top point scorer. We'll confirm that later for you. But what a race. Rudman the winner and fastest lap, Parker 2nd, Haraway 3rd, Mickle in 4th. From Pett, Nick Bridgman, Nathan Anthony, Will Gibson, Paul Simmons 9th, Mike Borner again in 10th position. Mike Schlupp finished 11th from Bill Reid, then Stuart McAndrew and James Newbury. Phil Turner in 15th. The only non-finisher, sadly, Sean Smith. So into pit lane, Miles Rudman, what a weekend he has had here at Pembrey. Extends the championship lead. He's going to have very nearly 3 races in hand, but that maths to be confirmed.
Miles, congratulations on the win and the day as well. Not a bad way to head into Brands Hatch with that championship lead.
Definitely not, no. I mean, I would have been happy with points, but, you know, to get a couple of wins, it's even better, you know. It's just another extension on the lead for the championship, and that's exactly what we're looking for.
Jack, another cracking race, and you guys just caught those leaders, didn't you, in the last knock-ins of the race?
Literally the last lap, we just caught them. I think them squabbling out of front definitely helped, but do you know what? I never expected to get 2nd, never mind challenging for 1st. Do you know what a fantastic race. It was just slowly nipping at them at each lap, but I got 2nd. I'm happy with that. I'll take that any day.
So a titanic battle there with Miles Rudman through the race, and then I think maybe as a result of the squabble, Jack was saying they managed to catch you in the closing stages.
Yeah, it was really good. I mean, Miles, I was struggling a bit with engine power then. I think the engine's due a refresh, so I knew I had to do Miles straight back or he would have driven away, so it was a bit of cat and mouse. But yeah, at the end he went around the outside, and it was so close to touching. I didn't want to take him out. Obviously he's fighting for the championship, he's leading the championship, so yeah, good day. Could have been better, but we'll roll on to Brands.
Confirmation of the day's results. Miles Rudman wins round 12 here at Pembrey from Jack Parker, and John Mickle completing the outright podium. Marcus Pett 4th from Nathan Anthony, then Nick Bridgman and Paul Simmons. Cy Haraway, Will Gibson and Mike Borner. Championship table though, Miles Rudman extends the championship lead from Sean Smith. Cy Haraway in 3rd ahead of John Mickle. Marcus Pett in 5th from Will Gibson. Paul Simmons, Jack Parker, Nathan Anthony in 9th. The top 10 completed by James Hall Morton. Well, that's the close of action here at Pembrey. Superb day for Miles Rudman, who cements his championship lead with overall victory here. 2 more rounds left. They're at Brands Hatch in November. The weather will be colder, but the racing will sure as anything heat things up on the day. Many thanks for watching. We'll see you next time.